All right, so shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we'll start off by saying Barakatham, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua Bahashem, and Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shout out to the hopefully elect, starting with the 144,000. Shalom. All right, so Lord willing, right? As we see the times, things going on, as we see in the downfall, we see in the prophecy, the signs are showing that the downfall of this beast is soon at hand, and the coming of our kingdom through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushua is on the way, and it's very close, right? Romans 13:11, now it's high time we gotta sleep, man. But Lord willing, today I want to go into how, right? First I go to first, now matter of fact, I'm starting Matthews, right? Because for so long, right, this beast, matter of fact, we can start Revelation, right? This beast has been able to deceive and trick people, through his miracles. And when you go to it, matter of fact, Lord, it's the spirit, just flowing through the spirit. When you go through it, right, let's touch on this right here, Revelation 17:4, right? We're still on to trick people through his deceiving the miracles of things that he was able to do. Right, and one of the things that had people Lord and caught up in was the money, the money and things that goes into this. As we're gonna read Revelation 17:4, it says, "And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abomination and filthiness of her fornication." Right, so it's like, excuse me. So understanding that woman is going to America, Babylon, spiritual Sodom and Egypt, right? Understanding that this purple scarlet color is going to her costliness, right? Her costliness, right? So when we go to Revelation 18 and start around the verse, let's see, start around verse. Let's see. I know it's in 18. I just want to see. Okay. Okay. So, Lord willing, we'll start around here, verse 11, right? It says this is going to the downfall of this beast, right? I just want to show you that it's like it. I just want to show you. Matter of fact, would you just to the point? Verse 19. I just want to show you that purple scarlet that matter of fact, read it again. Right? It says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abomination and filthiness of fornication. Right? And when you go into Habakkuk 2:5, right? How it talks about how America goes out and heap to all nations goes out with that and deceives people by wine. Right? Let's go to that real fast. It's the book of Habakkuk chapter 2. And 5, 2 and 5, right? It says, yeah, also he transgressed, talking about Esau. He transgressed by wine. What's that wine? The philosophy, the ways, the deceivableness, the miracle. It go out to these people that, hey, if you want your country to run well, you want your country to be like this, you want to be great, this and that, deceiving that America pushes out and gives out, right? If you want to make money, you want to do this like that, hey, do our way, do our policy, get down with us, do business with us, lay in bed with us, right? And that's how America deceives and tricks everybody. You say transgressed by wine, right now, but that wine is spiked with poison. So once it gets to a point where these countries rely on America for certain things, and that's the costliness that it has. That's the costliness that it has. That America know how to put these people back against the wall, and the only thing they can call on is them, right? So once again, let's read this again. The one was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. So let's go into Revelation 18:19. When we read 19 first, then we'll go back up, right? So it says, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, that great city, we was talking about Babylon, America, wherein were made rich, right? Wherein were made rich that had ships in the sea by the reason of her costliness. For 1 hour that she made desolate, right? So that costliness is going to be no more. right? That cost is gonna be no more. They're not gonna pay attention to it. They ain't gonna want to listen to it no more, right? They ain't gonna want it no more, right? So let's go to Revelation 16, right? And we read down, right? It says, "And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates," right? Keep part in prophecy, right? It says, "And the water therefore was dried up, and the way of the kings of the east might be prepared." And you seeing that happen now. You have the kings of the east, right? Then you have America. You have America over there. You got American troops over there now. You seeing that now. Even with the Straits situation, Straits of Hamas, right? The maritime thing. You seeing that now. How Bashing Shai is preparing all these things to lead. It's going, the pot is boiling, man. Yahweh Shem Shai give you the signs. He's showing you he's showing you the things. He's showing you the prelims of everything that's gonna go down. Everything that's supposed to go down to lead up to World War III, right? He's showing you of it, and you seeing that now. Right? I got some notes right here. I read, right. The Lord is preparing the kings. They over there in the Middle East right now. You have American troops over there right now as well. Right, it says, "And I saw three unclean spirits like the frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon's Roman Empire, out of the mouth of the beast, NATO EU, out of the mouth of the false prophet, Roman Catholic Church." Right, but here's the point. It says, "For they're the spirits of devils working miracles." Right, as though miracles. One of the biggest miracles is technology. That's why they want to push the MOTV. They want to bring technocracy. Right, they want to make everything digital. In fact, they want to fight for eternal life. He said, "We'll go forth to the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of the great day of the power Almighty." But understanding this is another one of those miracles we don't touch on today is how America can deceive and trick, right? How they conceive and trick and to make things look as something, but it's really ain't even that. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, 9/11. They'll make these countries or these kings, right? Make these countries. It says, "For the spirits of devils working miracles to go forth to the kings of the earth." They go into they pay people off. They go do these things, quote unquote again, 9/11, and make it stage as if, oh, this country done this to us, so they can go in and take it over, go in and force their policy, go in and force their way, right? And trick. I got it right here in my notes. America will pay out people to make certain look as something, but it's really not. They just want a reason, a justification to do what they want to do, right? And for so long, America has been doing that, right? For so long, America has been doing that, tricking and deceiving, because, excuse me, right? When you go back to it, Revelation 13:4, right? Well, I read verse 2. First, it says, "Who the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine for fornication." We just went into how Habakkuk 2 and 5, they go into the whole, they go around the whole world transgressing by wine. And we go into a part of that wine is what? Their costliness, right? You get to the points where America doing all these little certain things, pay people off, right? And they doing all these little certain things to, but America is bringing so much money into certain places, and bringing so much resources into certain places that they look past it. They drunk by it. When you drunk, you can't see straight. When you drunk, you stagger, you blurry eye. You don't see clearly, right? And for so long, these devils have been able to do that. Ultimately, how Bashing Shai is put them in a position to be able to do that, deceive and trick, right? That's why the scripture say I was going to bring out first. We're gonna go back to that. Matthew 24 and 24, right? It says, "For there shall arise false Mashiach and false prophets." And it's the point, "and shall show great signs and wonders, and so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect." So they able to work, they able to do all these certain things that if it were possible, they could deceive the elect. But can't nothing deceive the elect, can't nothing pull the elect away from Yahweh Shem Shai, right? But ultimately, they deceiving and tricking everybody, because why? Everybody else drunken off that wine, drunken off that fornication. Everybody else drunken off of it. So they only, and these people might see it. To think about now, how America moving this thing. They making, it's like, excuse me. All right, it's like, excuse me for that. Had to turn that down. But they're making America, when they're making Iran look, y'all support this group, y'all support that group, y'all don't need no nuclear risk, we bomb. How they do little certain things. How they do little things. Even with that's how they go in and bully these, these countries, Iran, Syria, things that so they go in, how they just did Venezuela. They go in and bully these little country things that such, right? And America pay people off, or it's like it. Wow. Satan trying to work. Satan just really turned on some music on his own. Right? Low key shook me a little bit, but all right, but right. So let's turn that off. Esau trying to listen, man. Right? But con, back to it, they able to trick people look at it, because why? His costliness make them look past it. The riches and the money they getting, it make them look past it, right? But I say all that to say, Lord willing, right? Now it's getting to a point, to where we seeing prophecy unfold. We seeing the effect of every vision. The days are at hand. The effect of every vision, right? Now it's high time we got to sleep, because now we had a part of prophecy wherein, Lord willing, I mentioned, Lord willing, me and the brother break this chapter down soon, right? But right here, verse 9 to 10, it says, it's talking about the Russian army, right? They shall ascend and come like a storm. That shall be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands and many people with thee, because all the bands be going to the troops, the army, right? Russia, because many people with thee is Russia and his allies. They're going to come up against Israel and America, right? They're going to look past. They're going to look past all the money it costs that America. They're going to look past all that. As you read verse 10, it says, "This saith the Lord Yahweh, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought." So Russia is going to get out that sitting back, that making money, that being comfortable with America, and it's going Most High going to put an evil thought on, because the Most High control all of it. Ultimately, the Most High fueling it up as time goes. Been fueling it up. World War III, and for the elect, we see it. We see that's the signs of wonder. How about Yahshua confirming things to us, these faith boosters, man. So we see it, and Scripture tells us how evil thought will come upon these Russians, and they're gonna Russia things and such, right? And his allies, and they're gonna look past his costliness, right? They're gonna look past all this. They're gonna look past all the money and things and such that America brings in, right? Isaiah 13 and 17, right? It says, "Behold, I will stir the Medes," talking about the Russian, "against them which shall not regard silver, as for gold they shall not delight in it." So they're gonna look past that costliness, right? They're gonna look past that. They're gonna look past that money. They're gonna look past all that, right? Because why? Because the spirit of Yahushua is going forcing prophecy to be fulfilled, right? And that was part of prophecy for them to be able to trick and deceive. When you go into Revelation 17, it's going into how this beast, how in this beast has been set to rule over kings of the earth, and it's telling you how he's doing it through his fornication, through his wine, through his costliness, right? But now that wine done backfired on him, right? Jeremiah 51. Now the nations are mad. Now this costliness is backfiring on them. They gonna, and soon the country's costliness is gonna backfire on them, right? Even they're doing it now. These certain countries are creating their own currency. They create their own trade route. They create their own things to where they don't got to deal with America. They don't got to move with America. And that's part of that. And that's part of this beast going down. So now we'll go read down to 19, Revelation 18, right? Starting at verse 11 on down. It says, "And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls, fine linen, purple and silk, scarlet, all 9 wood, and all thy manner of vessels of ivory, and all 9 manner of vessels of the most precious wood, and of brass and of iron marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine and oil, and fine flour, and what wheat, and beasts, sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men," right? And the first, and the fruits that they sold, and that thy soul lusted after, are departed from thee, and all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her, right, which was made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, because Yahweh is going to put the spirit ultimately on Russia. Also, he's gonna put his spirit on the beginning of it. When he put his spirit on Russia, and Russia and his allies gonna come bring these missiles in World War III. I think that's gonna pop off. Then Yahweh and the chariots gonna come and wipe this place out, wipe it all out, destroy all the nations, destroy everybody. The only people gonna make it through is the elect. The only people gonna be delivered from is the elect. You're gonna have the elites things who get in these bunkers. Everybody ain't gonna be destroyed, because remember Ezekiel 39, continuing employment. Right, they're the ones who survive and overcome. Right, the ones who survive, I guess you should say, they're gonna go into slavery. Of the other nation, they're gonna go into slavery, man. Right. So it says, Verse 15 said, the mercies of these things which are made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, as we read, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And what is that? And what is it? What is the beginning of that going to be? Is when we read how Most High gonna put that evil thought on the Russians, and they're gonna come and drop those missiles and destroy this place, right? They're gonna come drop because they go Isaiah 13:17 again. Those riches, the gold, it's not gonna it's not gonna mean nothing anymore. They're gonna look past it. Why? Because that judgment has come. That's part of the judgment is gonna come upon America. Right? You have the curse upon the earth where the chariot's going to come and destroy, but you have, Russia, as Ezekiel 38 goes into, how, Russia, right? They're going to come, right, and drop missiles, but bomb, and, it's going to be the start of World War III, which ultimately this place going to lead to this place being brought down and destroyed, man. Russia going to disregard all that. They're going to disregard the money, the cost. They're going to disregard all that. A judgment has come. America going to be exposed. These devils think they in control, right? These devils, and this was El Apostle Ramla. He was speaking on this as he breaking down Ezekiel 38. These devils think they in control. These devils think they able to trick and deceive and work these miracles and put everybody under their belt, control everybody. They think they can control the outcome of everything. Ultimately, because Yahweh Shah has let them play the role. Right, that's why they think they're God. That's why their mindset is set on God. But Yahweh Shah show them Ezekiel 28 that they just a man. Right? But they think they control the outcome, that they control everything because everything working in quote unquote their favor. But ultimately, Yahweh Shah put that spirit on them to do exactly what he said for them to do. Everything they're doing what the Lord said for them to do, which is going to eventually lead up to what? The prophecy of Ezekiel 38, then Armageddon, then Yahweh Shah, the chariots coming and tear this place down. Right? So 17 says, for 1 hour so great riches has come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors, and many as trade by sea stand far off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? In verse 19 again, right? It says, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh hath avenged you on her. This is the judgment of her. When Yahweh shall exalt that vengeance on them, right? For what it says, for the holy apostles and prophets, man, right? It says, and mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, this with violence shall the great city Babylon, somebody America, be thrown down and shall be found no more in the sea. You see that with violence. It's going to start with what? Verse 13-2. The Edomites came in through power through the Greeks, and then Daniel 7 refers to that beast of the leopard. It's going to go and the feet of it like to a bear, because Russia is going to be the end of this thing. Russia is going to be the ones, how about you know, so I can put the spirit on them to bring an end to this thing, man. Ultimately, Yahweh Shah and the angel going to come and wipe it all away, right? So Lord willing, real fast. Excuse the notification that may pop up. Let's go to, I want to read Ezekiel 38. I want to read Ezekiel 38 in NLT. Verse 9 and 10 in NLT real fast, right? So it reads, it says, you and all your allies and a vast, awesome army will roll down on them like a storm cover the land like a cloud. It's talking about Russian armies coming on Israel and America, And it says Russia armies and his allies, right? It says, this is what the sovereign Lord Yahweh said. At the time, evil thoughts will come to your mind and you will devise a wicked scheme, right? So how about Shah going to put a wicked thought on them, and they're going to come and destroy this place. They're going to come bring this place down, and they're going to look past the costliness. They're going to look past their purple and scarlet. They're going to look past the business money. They're going to look past paying America. They're going to look past being cool with this place, sitting back and letting America deceive and trick. They're going to look past all that, right? They're gonna look past. They're gonna push that cup away. You want to sip it. You want to. You know how in the meeting, like in the movie, when soon as they go in there, the bosses meet or somebody meet who are higher up. As soon as they go in there, they get to pouring cups of wine. You want a cup of wine? Nah, I'm good. We don't need that, right? Just straight to business. So with that being said, Lord, I want to touch on that real fast. For me and the brother will do this sit down. Right, that being said, Lord willing, the lesson was edifying and exalting, right? And I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shout out to the hopefully elect, starting with the 144,000.